So apparently McDonald's is they're getting rid of McDonald's in Chicago.
There'll be lots of McDonald's locations nearby. Check out all those golden arches. But one by one, you can see most have disappeared.
The golden arches on Clark, not there.
Wow.
No more Big Macs at this Loop location either. 4 McDonald's gone within a 10-minute walk of each other. What is going on?
I think that would be a question
Why
for
would this
McDonald's.
happen?
Oh, we asked them, but got an appreciate you reaching out reply.
Seems like
because they don't want to say the reason why they're leaving. The reason why you're leaving is you don't want to have a vendor in a PvP zone. That's the reason why. It's so obvious.
a lot of people don't want to talk about what's really going on here. But before we get to the real truth of why these places might be shutting down, have you ever been to an inner city McDonald's that made you feel safe and secure?
Interestingly, McDonald's...
Usually, like, so this is what I said before, like, for us, it is Whataburger. And, like, this is, like, I took this girl was from, Canada, and she grew up in China. And I took her to Whataburger. And she wouldn't even sit inside of the lobby. She was standing outside while I ate my food because she was afraid of the potential PvP situations that could occur inside of the lobby from the various NPCs that were there.
Global headquarters is only about a mile
Yeah,
from the
bro,
loop.
she was not ready for that.
Why are they hightailing it from their hometown? Again, no explanation from corporate.
Yeah, they don't want to
An outside
say.
source told us crime and tensions with the unhoused were a factor for at least one of the
Of
closures.
the unhoused? You mean homeless people? Jesus Christ, bro. Like, these euphemisms are driving me crazy. They really are.
Crime! That's exactly what's taking place at McDonald's in many parts of the country.
What a
but
surprise!
Interestingly,
What?
even in New York, where you see some of this at its most intense, these stores have found a way to stay open because they're near America's busiest train station and they're by Times Square, where people can place mobile orders.
Look at this, bro. Like, why do we live in a world where everything has to be done through... Like, when I was growing up, we didn't have to deal with this shit. This is insane. That we got fucking bulletproof glass KFCs. You know, this McDonald's has more security than a Bank of fucking America. Oh my God. COVID barrier? Nobody's wearing a mask. This is not because of COVID, I'll tell you that.
And flee the store as soon as they get their food.
Illinois Restaurant Association had another theory.
I know that since 2020, restaurants have seen an increase of 35% labor costs, 35% purchasing costs, and almost 20% in fixed costs.
That'll do it.
And so they've had a 100% increase cost of the fucking items on the menu, so suck my dick.
Recipe, consumers cutting back on fast food.
Yeah, because
You've noticed the vacancy
it's a waste
signs
of
around,
money.
but they don't scare you.
Sometimes, for sure, you see, you come this way and you're like...
Okay, so this guy here, he's in a super high-end looking
nice
restaurant here.
yeah.
He's not serving fast food.
Yeah, he doesn't need to worry about this. Like, because you don't have the, what'd you call them? Fuck. Like Nevrons. I'll just say that. The Nevrons that are coming into this area and causing problems. The zombies, yeah, no, that's it. And no, that's it. Well, I mean, whatever it is.
Food. Yes, people are cutting back on fast food because it's no longer fast.
So crazy.
It
That's
might
what they
not
are.
actually be food, and the price is way up. But there's another reason why stores are closing, and it's because they're attracting the wrong type of foot traffic, and that tanks these places. They have to shut down.
Most retailers look for ways to increase...
Like, I didn't even know people were uncomfortable about this. Because, like, growing up, I just thought it was normal that there was a crackhead living at McDonald's. Like, if I went to McDonald's and there wasn't a crackhead there, I would think, oh, there must be a police officer here or something like that's going on, right? Like, I mean, every single McDonald's, like, correct me if I'm wrong, but, like, every McDonald's, you have the lobby, right? And inside of the lobby, there's an area where the cashier's desk is not within line of sight of the rest of the lobby. And inside of that out of LOS area, there's a homeless person that has a complete computer setup there with like probably a George Foreman grill. And it looks like they've been living there for 3 days. And that way the manager doesn't see them. right? And they've got their backpack there. They've got their clothes out. Everybody, like, they're camping there, right? They live there now. And so he's 3. Exactly. And so, like, I have people come, like, you know, when that girl did that, I was like, wait, what? No, he just lives here. No, he's fine. He might ask for your receipt later so he can use it for his rewards card to get a muffin, but that's it. No, he probably won't stab you. That's it. Yeah. I didn't even know that this bothered people this much.
Traffic. But the McDonald's at 2154 Nostrand Avenue in Brooklyn is doing the opposite. As the sign on the door shows, no one under 20 needs an ID or a parent, while some dislike the new door policy being enforced by a trio of security guards and backed up by NYPD officers.
Let me guess. This policy reduced the problems by, let me guess, 100%. I bet they didn't have any problems after this. I'm not even kidding. I actually bet this probably totally solved the problem.
The police.
The reasoning is plain. McDonald's locations are all too often the scene of violent crimes.
Yeah.
And both the victims and perpetrators can often be young.
So,
that's exactly true. Like, every like fast food restaurant that's near any of, like, the high schools or middle schools here, there would always be PvP events happening there. Always. Like, I remember, bro, people breaking the order things. Like, there were multiple Dairy Queen, because there's a Dairy Queen by my high school. And there would be multiple Dairy Queen events that would happen every single year.
Is taking over these stores. And the problems you have in Chicago, a high-tax, progressive city that doesn't back up its police, are the same problems you've got in places like New York, where we don't have a legal system that holds people accountable for destroying restaurants. So what happens if they're not in the busiest parts of town? They've got to close. Look at these places in Chicago. These were flagship locations, and now they're gone. And it's not just New York and Chicago that have an age policy at some of their stores.
If you're over 21, you must bring a doorbell to be let in.
Wow.
This is crazy, bro. Like, what are we doing? I'm going to say it again. 2%. We put the 2% of all the problem boys in institutions and prison and force them to work. All of these problems will magically disappear. I promise you. They will magically fucking disappear. We won't have any of these problems anymore. We won't need to have fucking dining room hours. We won't need to have plexiglass windows. It's going to be gone. Every problem's going to go away. It'll fix the economy too. Yeah, it's going to make everything better. It's modern slavery. It's opt-in slavery.
With the kids, the normal community comes here. Everybody interacts. They're great.
Yeah.
The McDonald's on Franconia
It's more
Road.
than 2%. It is, but the 2% would be the minimum, number one. And the 2% makes the remaining percent more manageable. You can manage the remaining percent, but the problem is that if you have, like, you reach a critical mass where there's too many problems and you can't address all of them.
Fairfax County kicked off new safety measures, angering teenagers and thrilling adults.
I think it's a great thing. This is the first time.
There it is.
In probably 5 years, I sat down for 15 minutes in this McDonald's and enjoyed a hamburger.
To get into this,
because I know why. There's a middle school. There's a McDonald's near the middle school. And if you go to that McDonald's at 4 p.m., that place is a fucking zoo. They're sitting there. They had to get rid of the drink machine. They can't even get their own drinks there anymore because they kept going and putting their mouth like, doing this, throwing fucking ketchup at each other, like all this bullshit. Like, they had to go and take everything out. Hooligan, they were. Yeah, and that's it. They jumped the fences. Yes, it was some crazy ass motherfucking shit, man. And degenerate. Yes, food fights. Yeah, throwing food at each other. You did that as a kid? I was involved in one Dairy Queen situation. And to be fair, it wasn't even really my fault. It was my friend's. We had a guy we knew, his name was Fabian. And we hid my friend's ice cream and we told him that this other random group of guys stole his ice cream while he was in the bathroom. And he started he was going to get in a fight with them. And Fabian just had it. He was holding it under the desk. And he goes, Eric. And he turns around after he's yelling at them and talking to him. And he goes. And that was it, man. Like, yeah, I remember this. S-tier paint? Yes. Bathroom ice cream. Yeah, so it wasn't your fault, but you sure didn't tell him? No, I didn't tell him. I knew this shit was going to happen. You sure his name wasn't Mohammed? No, but we did have a Mohammed in our school. He came from Nigeria. He was like related to the Nigerian royal family or something. And he would visit Africa and like post photos like I'm visiting the homeland. And he is now, my understanding is that he is now a detective for the Austin Police Department. Yeah. He's actually a detective now. Which is crazy because we used to do things that were on the opposite side of that. But yeah, he switched sides. So good for him, man. He also had like, this is, sorry, I'm going off on a huge tangent. He had like one of those slabs. If you're from like the South, you know what that is. But like if you're not, it's like those cars that have like all the lights on them, the TVs on them. They're like super like the real like ghetto fabulous style cars. Like he had one of those, and like, yeah, bro, yeah, it was the whole thing. Yeah, return the slab. Yeah, I remember that.
McDonald's.
Okay, I didn't know you could sit down at a McDonald's anywhere and enjoy a hamburger.
Yeah,
Where I'm from, I don't know if that's possible anymore. Shout out to Fairfax County, Virginia.
Customers are greeted at all entrances, which are locked, with a sign saying they have to be over 21 to dine inside.
Because due to repeated instances of student violence. See, this would never happen if you just put the kids in jail.
A doorbell alerts a staff member who lets
a doorbell, bro. Like, you actually have a doorbell.
You in.
For McDonald's.
As you can see, they're happy to greet some customers, while others get denied. According to a spokesperson...
You saw this kid with a backpack? Nope. No, Billy. You're not coming in here. We saw you. You stole 200 ketchup packets last time you were in here.
For this franchise, student violence and disrespectful behavior erupts here at least once a week.
Yeah, of course.
And staff and customers are sick of it.
Of course.
Thomas Edison High School is just across the street.
So, the McDonald's in Brooklyn that also has this policy, they are also by a whole bunch of schools. So, youth violence might be an out-of-control problem at places like a McDonald's that cater to folks who...
Youth violence isn't the problem. Youth accountability is the problem. That's the difference.
A lot of fast food. And of course, that doesn't excuse the violence going on in some of these places, but it does explain why McDonald's in certain parts of Chicago might have to close down, even if people say these are busy areas of town that don't have a foot traffic problem.
A welcome greeting of graffiti. Are you getting tired of answering the question, how is the loop doing?
No. It's been our pleasure. What does this say? We have permanently closed our doors. Damn. So they actually had to relocate.
Loop doing?
No, not really, because I every day there's something new and improved.
Like the restaurant where the Chicago Loop Alliance's Michael Edwards met us.
Everybody trying to always blame this shit on black people, bro. Like, no, we caused this problem and we were white and there's a bunch of people from Mexico too. Like, there were some black people, yeah, but it was mainly white people and Mexicans. Like, that was my school. It was like 70% Hispanic. You don't need black people to cause these problems. You could cause these problems anywhere. Yeah, like I was there. Fuck, I recorded videos of it. Is everyone? Yeah, no, well, it's poor people? Yeah. Here's the thing, is that the funny thing that I think about this is that, you know who this hurts the most is the people in these communities. Because the people that are in these communities are the ones that end up losing jobs, losing opportunities, and being treated like de facto, basically criminals. That's the thing. Is like, and do you ever think about this? Like, whenever you have guys that like you go to, Church's Chicken. Like, there's that one video we saw. This guy went to Church's Chicken, and it's like they had more bulletproof glass on there than they do at fucking Chase Bank. Like, you have more of that. And it's like whenever you treat people like they're incarcerated for long enough, they start acting like it. And so you have this degradation of society that's so bad that you have people that can't get jobs because all the stores are closed. They get treated like criminals because there's enough people that are criminals. And then some of them are criminals and nothing's ever done about it. So the situation just perpetually gets worse. That's what happens. That's really the issue. And you've got these white liberal women that are patting each other on the back for defunding the police in these areas. Meanwhile, it's the minorities in these areas that are the victims of it that need the police the most. Because the police are the ones that ensure that these people get to have a life that they don't have to be looking over their shoulder. They don't have to be constantly fucking worried about having their shit stolen. Like, that's it.
On Memento.
It's racial and you know it. It's also gender-based. Like, if you want to say that it's racial, you can say that it's gender-based. Should we treat men differently than we treat women going into a restaurant? I don't think that we should. So I don't think that, again, there are a lot of problems that different ethnic groups have and don't have, like, for sure, right? And different, like, commonalities and, what do you call it? Like, what's a better way to say it? Different trends that different ethnic groups have. That doesn't mean that you should make policies and treat people as if they are that ethnic group, because a person is not an ethnic group. A person is an individual. And if you treat a person like they're an ethnic group, you're dehumanizing them. So the solution should not be based off of, an ethnic group or looking at this group of people like they're bad. It should be looking at the problem. And even if this problem disproportionately affects an ethnic group of people, it's still a good solution. Like, a great example of this in the inverse is affirmative action for low-income families. This is something that disproportionately helps minorities because a lot of them have lower income households, right? Especially like black households. This is something that would be beneficial for them. Is it a bad system because it more likely helps those people? Of course not, no. So you shouldn't be thinking about this in the perspective of race. You should be thinking about this in the perspective of the behavior. Because if you solve the behavior, that's universal. It's meritocracy? Yeah, focus on the problem.
A moment. First, an assessment of the loop's health.
First quarter of this year, 1 million people came down, $280 million in economic impact.
Downtown foot traffic on the weekends is even higher than before the pandemic. Consumers are coming. Commercial tenants, not as much.
So the problem isn't a foot traffic problem. The problem is a law and order problem. And if you live in a place like Chicago where this is taking place, or in New York, and nobody goes to jail for stuff like assault or petty crime, or you've got super lax bail laws that release repeat offenders on their millionth time getting busted, you're going to have a lot of this going on. And businesses will just decide, you know what, it's not worth it for us, even with all the foot traffic.
The vacancy.
Yeah, why would somebody want to put an area there? Like, that's it.
Signs around, but they don't scare you.
Sometimes, for sure, you see, you come this way and you're like, I mean, maybe I'm the craziest.
And yet.
Didn't you say any while ago you don't like affirmative action or any policy that disadvantages you based on identity? Yes, and this is completely in line with that. And when I said that, I made the exception for income. I think that income-based affirmative action and poverty-based beneficial behavior, even if it disproportionately helps minorities, is something that I'm completely in support of. Basically, I'm in support of making decisions to help groups of people, but I don't think that the delineation should be based off of which ethnicity or which gender they're a part of. So, like, for example, if there are people in a rural area, then they might have a structural disadvantage that could be addressed through some sort of government means. Big supporter of that. Not a big supporter of helping everybody that is a certain race or a certain gender. Very big difference there.
Christopher Roldan is betting big on the loop. Right next to the train, he just opened Memento. It's a fast casual taqueria on one side, sit-down restaurant on the other.
That's a nice place.
Handmade decor, self-serve liquor, and mouth-watering Mexican food.
There's this unique thing about the area that you have tourists and locals.
A combo that's done well for the highly Instagrammable Amarillo.
Yeah, it's that restaurant will be successful. You're not gonna have Nevrons going in there and causing problems at all.
gelato franchise.
Okay, just because McDonald's is shutting down doesn't mean other businesses that have a totally different pay structure and a totally different clientele that they cater to have not found ways to stay open. I absolutely believe that overpriced gelato and macaroons are doing well in Chicago.
Roldan also owns around the corner. He's opening another Amarino in the Loop this summer.
Yeah, see? And the reason why also is because a lot of the people that go in and cause trouble can't afford any of this food. That's another big reason. Why would you go into a restaurant if you can't afford anything? Like McDonald's, that's the reason why there's a lot of people at McDonald's that are there. It's because they can afford the food there.
All of the 300 locations, 19 countries, this one in Chicago is the #1 in sales. You have proofs that this area works.
All the ingredients at least some investors need to dismiss doubts about these sad signs.
Okay, let's back up for a second here. They don't have seats. There are not tables. You're not supposed to grab a big tray with food for several people and bring it to a table and sit there and spend half an hour to 40 minutes in the store. This is a get it and leave type of place.
That's
and
right.
Unfortunately, that might have to be what happens to McDonald's. The McDonald's in New York, these places are slammed if they're in a busy area. And you see
I've seen this before. Like, I've been to McDonald's before, and there's so many McDonald's, like here, at least in Austin, where, like, I swear to God, I feel like I'm going into a prison going into that McDonald's. McDonald's used to be so lit. It used to have, like, you would sit down and it was like, Ronald McDonald was a chair, or like fucking Grimace was like this like big kind of like beanbag round like chair thing. You could sit down there, and like now it's like these like fucking chairs like this. They're like bolted down to the ground and you can't move them. Yeah, there's like a Nintendo 64 there. There's a play place.
Lots of people coming in, getting their breakfast, but they do not stick around. They leave. And maybe that's why some of these McDonald's in Chicago are vanishing. If these stores were making money and they didn't have a crime problem, they would stay open. Heck, they'd stay open even if they had a crime problem, because the money and the orders were good enough to keep them there.
Absolutely.
But thankfully, Chicago's mayor is up for re-election, and that city has a chance to change things. Let's see how that's going.
And the fact of the matter is, Mayor Johnson has 99 problems, and President Trump is not one of them. There's
it's this guy. He hates white people. I know him. He's the one. He was the one that says that he hires black people because black people are more generous than white people. Remember him? A real winner there.
$988 million budget deficit.
And he's going off on President Trump. Like, you can't even keep a McDonald's open. You got people that are pillaging the McDonald's, and you're mad at Donald Trump?
City is going to be facing. RTA has a $770 million budget deficit. Chicago Public Schools, $550 deficit.
You want to admit this is racial? You guys, y'all push me so hard to try to like go and like push some like race stuff. This guy is a racist. He's a fucking racist. I would never vote for him. As a white person, I would never vote for this guy because he's advocating for race-based policies. He's the racist. I'm not. Yeah, why the fuck would I vote for this? Absolutely fucking not. Yeah, with this guy, it is race. It absolutely is. He says it. This isn't me judging. This is a fact.
Chicago Transit Authority, over $500 million deficit.
Place is falling apart.
The mayor of Chicago does not have time to be worried about what is happening with President Trump.
Yeah.
He has his own issues. And I think that we need to remind him that we have been unhappy with him. We're talking about a man with a single digit.
Okay, I'm sure that
a single digit.
He has relatively low approval. But just like
what a fucking retard. Holy shit. Oh my God.
New York, where I'm at, Chicago, they've got this problem where the person that they elect is part of the problem, and then they get upset with that person, then it's time for another election, and then what do? They bring in somebody who just continues the status quo. So he very well may win, despite what you're hearing here, which could mean...
If you win with a 6% approval rating, I honestly would be impressed. I would respect that.
And even more McDonald's leave the city.
Over Memorial Day weekend, according to police. Yet Mayor Johnson continues to claim that he's making the city better and he's working to make it safer and that violence is actually going down. Listen.
The key it makes sense, right? Because no, it makes sense. See, the violence at the restaurants are going down because there aren't any more restaurants. We don't have all these fights at McDonald's anymore. Like, I solved that. The fine print there is there aren't any more McDonald's. But, you know, it doesn't matter.
Investments that we are making continue to push forth our effort to build the safest, most affordable big city in America. Our investments are clearly having some strong returns as violence continues to go down in the city of Chicago.
Right. It's tough to find.
Okay, we got to talk about that because in New York they tell us the same thing. They tell us that violence is down. It's the safest big city everywhere, and you're safer here than you are in a place where criminals actually go to jail when they do something wrong. These numbers that we're getting out of these progressive cities, they are totally bogus. Look at this in New York, just a month and a half ago.
Punished for allegedly faking New York City subway crime stats. Wait, the head of the New York PD District Transit Committee was stripped of his command allegations. Police report falsified to downplay subway crimes. Yeah, because the thing is, I can't let him see that I'm fucking up. Oh shit, I don't want him to know.
Transit commander punished for faking crime statistics while they're telling us that crime is down. What are they doing? They're making up reports, eliminating and misclassifying.
Makes them look bad. Yeah, it just makes them look bad.
A handful of incidents. Is that how these big cities keep getting safer? It might be.
Turns because crime is still up. It's running rampant. And people are still fleeing the city because of it.
It is still up. And let me tell you something, and I think I talked about this. You know, Mayor Johnson and Illinois officials...
6%, man. Man, what the fuck are you doing? Wait, you think about how bad that is? 6%? God damn.
Love to talk about how crime is down. Yes, crime is down a little small.
What is that? What the fuck is that? Is that an armadillo?
Amount of what it was last year, but not down so much that you could be somewhere bragging about how crime is not happening.
Wait, that's what the fuck is this?
So much that you a little small enough to talk about how crime is down. Yes, crime is down a little.
It's a rock. The guy threw a rock in there. I get it now.
Small amount of what it was.
It's a rock, and you got somebody crawling in. So he threw the rock through the window, and now he's roaching in through the hole. Oh my God.
Year, but not down so much that you could be somewhere bragging about how crime is not happening here in the city.
No,
I told you guys a couple of months ago, my husband was literally carjacked in front of our house, and I live 3 blocks from the mayor. So don't tell me about how crime is down and that the citizens of Chicago are...
I think I like that word, the Nevrons. I should just call all the people that cause these problems, just everybody might just call them Nevrons. That's just the word, bro. Like, he just walks in. Yeah. Goblins? Yeah, exactly.
Happy with this administration, and we're happy with what we're seeing because we're not.
What are you doing?
You're the same mayor that we was unhappy with in 2020.
It's not even locked?
When I first started on this platform, nothing has changed about that.
Look at this guy helping himself right here. The restaurant's register right here. But you know, it's hard.
It's free loot.
Hard for a mayor to make or break a city's crime problem. Now, I'm not saying that that's not what's going on here, but many of these cities have other progressive leaders who pass laws.
You didn't even lock the door? Like, I mean, so you didn't lock the door, you didn't lock the fucking cash register, and this guy's just going in on it.
People like this.
It's not empty. Yeah, aren't you supposed to put the money? Like, I never worked in one of these jobs before, but aren't you supposed to put the money in the safe?
Mr. Robber here keep doing their thing without any fear of retribution from a justice system. But here's the thing. If people are leaving the city because of crime, where's this crime happening?
Somebody actually brought this up because me and my friend were thinking about robbing a Wendy's because he worked there. And we were talking about it. And like, yeah, no, it probably was an inside job. Because we were thinking about, like, you know, yeah, exactly, right? This is like back in like 2010, maybe 2009. But we ended up not doing that because I thought that the reason why I said not to do it is because I'm like, bro, I've been to that Wendy's. They have like 5 cameras there. They're going to get us. He's like, no, dude, they won't. We'll put like a thing on our face. I'm like, no, dude, they're going to get us. We go there all the time. They're going to immediately know it's me. They're going to know it's me instantly. I go there constantly. And he's like, oh, fuck, bro. And yeah, and because it's illegal? Well, it's because, yeah, it's too high risk, bro. Like, yeah, don't shit where you eat. Yeah, that's our Wendy's. Like, we can't, they'd pick me up easily. Yeah, they would get me instantly. So, yeah, actually, you bring up a really good point. That probably was an inside job. Really, really good point. I never even thought of that. I don't know why I didn't think of that.
It's not happening in the rich neighborhoods. It's not happening to the rich, wealthy restaurants. It's happening to the places, and at the places where the middle class goes to spend money. And if the middle class doesn't feel safe in a McDonald's, it doesn't feel safe spending money there, and the places are overrun with lawlessness, people are going to have to leave. Franchisees are going to close their restaurants because their customer base just isn't.
They're not making any fucking money. It's not complicated. Oh, I have a store, and it costs $15,000, and it's making $12,000. Okay, I'm going to close the store. Duh.
There. What do you think about
Fucking
that? Is that
duh.
why McDonald's are leaving
Obviously.
Chicago? Is that why they're probably going to leave certain parts of New York pretty soon if they don't get a handle on their underage violence problem? Let me know.
Yes.
Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.
No, it's insane.
Even in
bro.
death, the secret.
It's insane that they even let this shit happen.
McDonald's is leaving.
And I feel like what's so embarrassing about it, let me link y'all the video. What's so embarrassing about it is that people think that they're helping somebody. They think that they're actually helping out these communities by saying like, oh, the police are so bad. Oh, they're so mean. They're so bad. Oh no, we want to protect you from the police. And then they go and they let these people just fucking, again, they feel so good about this. They're helping, bro. They're helping the criminals. Yes, it's so embarrassing. Oh, it's a socioeconomic thing. They have to rob the Wendy's. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. What do we do? What are we talking about? It's outrageous. Yes, I don't even want to. Yes, white liberals and gated communities that never have to live with the consequences of their own performative fucking empathy. It is so annoying. Let me link you guys the video. Give it a like.